I was never one of those kids that grew up knowing what they wanted to be when they became an adult. And by the time I was 19, I was really starting to get worried about this. I was having a crisis about I need to have a career choice. I'm about to enter college. I should know what I want to be when I grow up. And I couldn't really decide what career path I wanted to choose. And that summer, luckily, I got hired to work at a summer camp by the Marin County Office of Education. They have a summer program at Petaluma. It was an opportunity that was really great. It was my first time ever being in Marin, being a kid from the East Bay. I'd never been here before. And it was 4 weeks, but the fourth week was the one that was most important, also the toughest. There was a group of kids that came out, about 60 of them, from a little bit more of an urban area. It was an area that was a little bit poorer, a little bit more economically depressed, where the parents couldn't quite afford to send their kids, and so they got scholarships. And this group of kids, we were convinced that they hated us. They were very disrespectful, and it was really tough to work with them. They demanded a lot of attention. They got into fights, things like that. We had to take them to the beach on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday we took the kids to the beach. And this particular group of kids, we were really worried about their behavior at the beach. And a lot of them didn't even want to go, and they were complaining about it. And so when we got there, we were really struggling to come up with things for them to do. And I remember seeing one little girl who was not having a good time and wasn't socializing with anyone. And I just kind of on a whim went up to her and said, "Hey, do you want to learn how to make a bracelet?" And I had this big ball of white string, very boring, not colorful at all. And I started showing her how to make a bracelet out of white string. And I was helping her out, showing her how to do it. When I looked up, there were 2 other kids watching, and so I invited them over. And then I got them started, and I saw 2 other kids watching. And pretty soon, I was so involved with what I was doing, trying to teach these kids how to make this bracelet, that before long, I looked up and I had almost the entire camp, all of these really hardcore kids that were super uncooperative, all incredibly involved in this string braiding thing that I had done. By the time the week ended, they didn't want to leave camp. They were not. They couldn't show us that they really had a good time, because where they come from, if you show weakness, it's exploited. So they couldn't let us know until they were getting ready to leave that they actually really liked us. And as they were getting ready to leave, a big bus came to pick them up. A lot of their parents didn't have cars or couldn't come get them, so they came on this big school bus. And I remember as the school bus was pulling away, I saw the little girl that I had helped out first, and she was crying out one of the windows, and she waved, and she was still wearing the bracelet that I helped her make. And I knew at that time that that was what I was supposed to do, going to teaching. And it just kind of goes to show you that if you're not sure what you're supposed to do with your life, if you wait long enough, you'll get a sign, and it will usually be when you least expect it.